Tread lightly. Speak, fool. Ah, at last. What is it now? Speak, fool. Tread lightly. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Speak, fool.
Hello there.
Tread lightly. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Ah, at last. You will know endless. Speak, fool.
First blood.
No one orders me around. This is more like it. Tread lightly. No one orders me around. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. For the Lich King. Frostmourne hungers. What is it now? Finally. This is more like it. Finally. Your pain shall be legendary. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. Speak, fool. Ah, at last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. No one orders me around. This is more like it. Finally.
Let the killing begin. Let the killing begin. Iwaniwanga. I do.
Our allied town is under siege.
Tread lightly. Frostmourne hungers. Now, Frostmourne. Ah, at last. Finally. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. No one orders me around. Finally. Faithless coward. This is more like it.
Who'd you want to kill?
Speak, fool. Ah, at last.
Our allies' hero has
Finally.
fallen.
This is more like it. What is it now? Finally. Glory to the Scourge. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it.
Our hero has fallen.
Ichuta.
Speak, fool. No one orders me around. Frostmourne hungers. Tread lightly. No one orders me around. What is it now? This is more. Ah, at last. Finally. Ah, at last. Finally. No one orders me around. What is it now? Ah, at last. No one orders me around. What is it now? No one orders me around. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last.
Our forces are under attack.
Speak, fool. Finally. This is more like it. No one orders me around. What is it now? Ah, at
Our
last.
allies' hero has fallen.
This is more like it. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Finally. You will end this torment. Tread lightly. Frostmourne hungers. What is it now? Ah, at last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. For the Lich King. at last. Finally.
Speak, fool.
No one orders me around. This is more
Our allies' hero has
Frostborn
fallen.
hungers. Ah, at last. What is it now? This is more like it. Speak, fool. Frostborn hungers. Ah, at last. Finally. Frostborn hungers. Tread lightly. No one orders me around. Finally.
Our allies' hero
At
has
last. At last. Finally. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it. What is it now? Finally. Speak, fool.
Greetings, friend.
No one orders me around. This is more like it.
Do you wanna
Speak,
kill?
fool. Tread lightly. Speak, fool. No one orders me around. Speak, fool. Frostmourne hungers. I'll make sure you suffer. This is more like it.
Glory to the scourge.
At last. Finally. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally.
Our hero has fallen.
Your manner is
What you want? Let the killing begin.
Our allies'
man.
hero
What is
has
it now?
fallen.
Speak, fool. Frostmourne hungers. What is it now? Speak, fool. What is it now? Finally. Frostmourne. At last. No one orders me around. Speak, fool. No one orders me around. Frostmourne hungers. Now, Frostmourne. At last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. At last.
Your pain shall be legendary.
What is it now? Finally. At last.
Our allies'
Finally.
hero has fallen.
Tread lightly. What is it?
I'll make sure you suffer.
Tread lightly. At last. This is more like it. Finally.
Our allies' hero has fallen.
What is it now? Speak, fool.
Your pain shall be legendary.
This is more like it.
Our allies' town is under
Finally.
siege. Our allies' hero
What is it
has
now?
fallen.
This is more like it. Finally. Speak, fool. This is more like it. Now, Frostmourne.
Your pain shall be legendary.
No one orders me around. What is it now? Speak, fool. Frostmourne hungers. This is
Forces are under attack.
Frostmourne hungers. Finally. What is it now? At last. Finally. This is more like it. At last.
Glory to the scourge.
This is more like it. At last. Finally. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. Tread
will
lightly.
find justice.
At last. Speak, fool. What is it now? This is more like it.
Let
No
the
one
killing
wants to
begin.
kill around.
Iwaniwanga.
Finally. Tread lightly. At last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. You will go endlessly. This is more like it.
Our hero has fallen. Our forces are under attack. Hero has fallen.
Speak, fool. Frostmourne hungers. No one orders me around.
Let the killing begin.
Speak, fool. Tread lightly. Ah, at last. Finally. Speak, fool. This is finally. This is more like it. Now, Frostmourne.
Our allies' hero has
Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally.
Our forces are under attack.
Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. No one orders me around. Speak, fool. No one orders me around. Speak, fool. What is it now? No one orders me around.
Our forces are under attack.
Last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. What is it now? Finally. Speak, fool. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers.
Glory to the scourge.
Finally. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Tread lightly. What is it now? Frostmourne hungers. Finally. No one orders me around. Frostmourne hungers. Finally.
Your man.
Frostmourne hungers.
Your pain shall be legendary.
Finally. Ah, at last.
Let the killing begin.
Tread
Our
lightly.
allies' hero has
This
fallen.
is more like it. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. Speak, fool. No one orders me around.
Our forces
Speak,
are under
fool.
attack.
For the
Your
Lich
man
King.
is depleted.
Tread lightly. No one orders me around. Ah, at last. What is it now? This is more like it. Tread lightly. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers.
Glory to the scourge. Your pain shall be legendary.
Double kill. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Now.
Our hero has fallen.
Your mana is depleted.
Our allies' hero has fallen.
What is it now? Ah, at last. This is more like it. No one orders me around. What is it now? Tread lightly. Frostmourne hungers. No one orders me around. Tread lightly. Ah, at at last. Frostborn hungers. Finally. What is it now? Frostborn hungers. Ah, at last. No one orders me around.
Our forces are under attack! Glory to the Scourge!
Finally. Ah, at last. Speak, fool. Finally. Frostborn hungers. Tread lightly. This is more like it. Finally. Frostborn hungers.
You will be ended. Not enough man.
For the Lich.
Glory to the Scourge! Our hero has fallen!
Who do you want to kill?
Your man.
What is it now? No one orders me around. Finally. At last.
Do you want axe?
Tread lightly. Frostborn hungers.
Let the killing
What is it
begin.
No one orders me around. Ah, at last. This is me. Tread.
Allied hero has fallen!
Speak, fool. What is it
Your
now?
man is
No one orders me around. Tread lightly. Finally. Ah, at last. Frostborn hungers. Finally. Frostborn hungers. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. Finally.
Double kill!
Ah, at last. This is more like it. No one orders me. What is it now? Speak, fool. This is more like it. Finally. Frostborn hungers. No one orders me around.
Our
Ah,
forces
at
are
last.
under attack!
This is more like it.
Your pain shall be legendary.
Finally. Ah, at last. What is it now?
Faithless coward.
Frostborn hungers. No one orders me. What is it? Ah, at last. Frostborn hungers.
Your pain shall be legendary.
This is more like it. Ah, at last. Finally.
Our hero has fallen!
No one orders me around. What is it now? No one orders me around. Lord hungers. This is more like it. Tread lightly. At last. This is more
Allies'
like
hero
it.
has fallen.
At last. What is it now? Speak, fool. No one orders me around. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. At last. Finally. At last. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. Finally. At last. Finally. At
Our
last.
forces are under attack.
Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it.
Your man.
Speak, fool. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Finally. At last. Finally. At last. This is more like it. What is it now? Frostmourne hungers. Speak, fool. This is more like it.
Let the killing. Let the killing. I love.
What is it now?
I do it.
At
you wanna
last.
You want?
Tread lightly.
I love you want. Wanga.
What is it now? Tread lightly.
What you want?
What is
You
it now?
want? What you want?
Finally.
I do you wanna kill?
No one
What you
orders
want?
me around.
I love to.
Tread lightly. This is more like it.
Ichuta. Dewani wanga.
Speak, fool. Tread lightly. What is it now? No one orders me around. Tread lightly. What is it now? Finally. Tread lightly. Frostmourne hungers. Speak, fool. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Tread lightly. At last. This is more like it. What is it? Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers.
Glory to the scourge. Our hero has fallen. Our allies' hero has fallen. Our allies' hero has fallen. Our allies' town is under siege.
Double kill.
Our allies' hero has fallen.
Tread lightly. What is it now? This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it.
Double kill.
Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. No one would have seen it. You will end this. Speak, fool. At Frostmourne hungers. Finally.
Who'd you wanna kill?
Tread lightly.
You want axe?
Frostmourne hungers. No one orders me. This is Frostmourne hungers. At last.
Double kill.
This is more at last. Tread lightly.
Our
Speak.
forces are under attack.
What is it now? Faithless coward. At last. Frostmourne. This is what. Frostmourne. Finally. This is more like it. Finally. Your pain is legendary. Frostmourne hunger. Finally. Frostmourne hunger. Faithless coward.
Our allies' town is under siege.
Finally. This is more like it. Now. At last. Finally. No one orders me around. At last. Finally. Frostmourne hunger. At last.
Glory to the scourge.
Frostmourne hunger. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hunger. This is more like it. Frostmourne hunger. You will be endless. At last. Finally. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it. At last.
Your mana is depleted.
This is more like it. Frostmourne hunger. This is more like it. At last. Finally. Faithless coward. For the Lich King. Frostmourne hunger. At last. Your pain is legendary. Finally. Speak. At last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. What is it now? Speak, fool. Your pain. At last. Now. Tread.
Our allies' town is under siege.
Faithless. Finally. This is more like it. Finally. Speak, fool. This is more like it. Tread lightly. What is it now? Tread lightly. No one orders me
Your mana
around.
is depleted.
For the Lich King. Now. At last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last. This is more like it. At last. Finally. At last. What is it? Frostmourne hungers.
Our allies' hero has fallen.
At last. At last. Finally. No one orders me around. Speak, fool. Frostmourne hungers. Your pain.
the scourge.
Frostborn hungers. No one orders me around. At last. Finally. This is more like it. Now, Frostborn. Finally. Frostborn hungers. This is more like it. At last. For the Lich King. Frostborn